Hello friends, it's Trevor, it's Avery, it's Pat, it's the citywide special. Sixers season is over. The team drops Game 6 against the Knicks and now look on to the offseason. Can the season be considered a step forward or just another disappointing playoff exit? What should the Sixers do with their newfound cap space and draft capital? All signs point to Daryl Morey hunting for stars once again. Who might be landing in Philly? The Flyers will make the 12th selection in the upcoming NHL draft after they fail to move up in this week's draft lottery. The Phillies continue their strong play, sweeping the Giants, followed by a split to the Blue Jays. The Titans suffer an injury blow, however, as Trea Turner is expected to be out 6 weeks with a strained hamstring. The Eagles' new coordinators speak to the media. What have we learned about how they'll approach the season? All that and more coming up right now. How's it going, fellas?
Pretty good. Can't complain. Spring is approaching summertime rapidly. I feel like it got a little warm this week. A little bit of rain coming up here and there, but, all in all, can't complain.
Yeah, it's been hot. It was damn near 90 degrees yesterday. That was... Did not particularly enjoy that. It feels like we had, a couple weeks of spring. Now it's officially summer. It's like it ain't that bad out there right now, though.
No, yeah, it's not like when it rains in the summertime where it gets rainy out, then it gets hot and steamy muggy, by 2 o'clock. You're like, oh, I hate my life. Where it's not that bad. Today was pretty cloudy out. It rained a little bit.
Yeah, today was all right.
Yeah.
It's good to be here in racist Philadelphia, as Tom Brady might call it.
Yeah, coming from Boston.
Right, that's so backwards. Dude, look around, right? Read the room, man. Look at where you played most of your career. Even when you went to Tampa. Let's call it how it is.
I love that he said Philadelphia racist as shit, and then followed up by immediately saying, fuck you, Kevin Hart. I'm it's just not a little weird right now, though? What do you... Come on now. But whatever. Brady's a bitch. He'll always be a bitch.
You was a bitch. You were a bitch. Yeah, his mom's a bitch. His dad's his grandma's a bitch. Yeah. I'll tell you what, man. I'm getting a little... there's one thing that's been kind of concerning me lately is my halal guy is fucking MIA.
Well, it's
been 3-4 weeks. I've been walking down, not there. That's my usual...
Where do you go?
My at work, my Wednesday routine is I go over during my lunch break to go to Trader Joe's, get some groceries, and then on the way back I hit this halal cart every single Wednesday. And the past 3-4 weeks he's not there.
Maybe he's on the front lines at UPenn protesting and shit like
maybe,
that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Probably doing his thing.
But yeah, man, I don't know where my man Mohamed, which is his name. I'm not making that. Don't know what happened to him.
That's a shame, man. I'm sorry.
Hopefully he got his permits right. Maybe he got.
Maybe he just moved to a different part of the.
L&R probably fucked him up.
I mean, it's definitely the the COVID and working from home definitely hit the food truck economy. That's for sure. Not as much.
Yeah, but you were seeing him as. When was the last time you saw him?
I mean, I don't know. A few weeks ago.
All right, so COVID's been over for a year.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm just saying maybe at some point you gotta pack up and move the car to another location.
I feel like halal trucks are like cockroaches. They're they survive. They find a way to survive.
Yeah, no, those always do well.
They don't leave. They just fuck it.
To be fair, there are a bunch in Center City, but if he's good, he's good.
Yeah,
no one's going to run him out of business.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. But
well, shout out to Mohamed.
Yeah, I got to try to find
what's the street?
21st and Market.
Shout out to 21st and Market.
He didn't get forced out. It wasn't a business decision that he left.
Yeah, just worried about my man.
Is he
that's a prime spot.
I want to find him, but I don't have any photographs of him to post around. So
going off of Mohamed,
might have to be forced to draw a picture of Mohamed.
Well, you know what I mean?
Copies and post them all over town.
You're going to have to go on Facebook and whatnot. Where's Mohamed?
Going off of Mohamed with the halal food truck is going to be find a needle in a haystack in Philadelphia. That's going to be tough right there.
Yeah, but that's all I got to do. What I got to do is draw a picture of Mohamed. Yeah. As you do.
Can you draw? You don't know how to draw.
And post them around with my name,
you get the white sauce or the spicy sauce on top?
Oh, we gotta do both.
Oof, yeah, the old half and half.
Yeah, I like the mix.
Dude, this guy he's packs the shit too.
Would you get lamb on rice?
Chicken and lamb on rice.
Oh yeah. Oh,
so
good.
You ever get the fish on rice? Sometimes the fish will be nice too. I like the fish on rice.
Yeah, I never got the fish on rice. Only the meat.
A lot of food trucks, I won't really be getting fish, but halal trucks, you can get the fish. They're usually very good.
Mm-hmm.
They're usually very good.
I've never tried it.
I believe
I just
it.
I just
I'm
want
a
that chicken
lamb on rice
and lamb.
guy with the hot with the hot sauce.
Yeah.
Well, you know they call me the seafood poppy, man. I gotta be trying the fish. I gotta be trying the seafood.
Yeah.
You know this.
This is true. The
I went
sea
and
truck food.
I went and got a gyro today for lunch.
Ooh.
That was good.
Where you get that at?
There's a place called Mustaki. I think they have a couple locations, but there's one on 21st and Race.
Nice.
It's kind of like a fast casual Greek place, like Greek Chipotle, more or
Hell
less.
yeah.
But it's
Oh,
good.
that sounds banging,
Yeah,
actually.
but you make a solid gyro.
Yeah, is it gyro or gyro?
Gyro.
Okay. I mean,
Gyro.
I always say gyro, but I hear some people call
Sometimes
it
it's
gyro.
it's one of those things where you never know if you're like being a pretentious dick if you're saying
Right.
it that way. But they did actually, and when you walk in there, they have like a big thing on the wall that says like and it has the little pronunciation guide, so they are expecting you to.
It's the little things that make it.
But
go
it's
a
like
long way.
but it's sometimes like you kind of like when people will order at a Mexican restaurant and like roll their R's and they're ordering a burrito at
It's like,
Yeah.
you
at
don't
like a
speak-
Chipotle
Yeah,
or
the
something.
burrito.
You don't
It's
speak
like,
no
what?
Spanish?
Yeah, you don't
Miss
gotta
me
do
with
that.
that.
Yeah, but
Tu no habla español, you know what I'm saying?
yeah. But anyway, shout out Mohamed. Please come home. Please, please feed me. We're like on a whenever I like walk up there,
He
just
knows
starts
your name?
he just starts making my shit before I even say anything.
Did he know your name?
I don't know if he does actually.
Oh. Well, you're not. You can't do this if he didn't
Well,
know
no,
your
I'm just
name.
saying. I'm just saying. Like, I'm a regular enough that he like just starts. I don't have to like order. He just starts making my shit as soon as I walk up.
Okay.
We're on a no words necessary.
No
basis.
words, no name, just
Yeah,
you know
just
what's up.
All
Yeah.
business.
Yeah. All meat, no pleasure. Yeah.
So hold on, I gotta go deeper on this. Has anyone else that you work with in your building lamented the fact that Mohamed is gone? Does anyone else?
I don't know. I never
They
see
know
anyone.
his whereabouts.
I don't know. I mean, obviously, because people are working from home. There's only so many people that are in there at the same time I am. I don't know if. I don't know.
It can't be. Mohamed can't be holding down for just you. Of course, there's got to be more people up in there.
I'm
So
sure
who
there's
else?
a lot of people that are just as distraught. You know.
Gotta put out an APB.
Damn.
Mohamed. All right. Well,
Speaking of people that were MIA, I don't know. What we want to jump into then?
We can start with the Sixers.
Well, then speaking of
sure.
MIA, it's been an end of an era for Tobias Harris.
Oh yeah, good
Yeah.
riddance.
Yeah,
Good
we don't need to
riddance.
put out signs for Tobias.
went
We
out-
can put signs out for Mohamed, but Tobias, that is one thing that we'd be like, thank God he's not on the block anymore.
Yeah, bye, man. Don't
Yeah.
let the door hit you where the good Lord split you, man. We will not miss you.
yeah, really poetic way to go out with the 0 points.
Yeah.
Just getting his cardio in.
A donut, dude.
Also, 0 for 2. It's not like he shot mad shots. He
I
only
know.
shot 2 shots. Like,
Yeah,
that was it. That was
just
his whole...
putrid.
no assist, no
He
points.
had like 3 rebounds.
You know,
Awful.
I mean, just an absolute shit show of an
it's
outing.
Like a microcosm. Like the last 2 games of that series were a microcosm of the entire Tobias Harris experience as a Sixer. Game 5, he's decent. He puts up like 18 points.
Yeah.
9 or 10 rebounds, hits 2 clutch free throws. You're like, okay, see, this guy can be good.
Mm-hmm.
We can live with this. Then game 6, he comes out and literally lays an egg, right? And just no effort, like not diving for loose balls, not getting deflections. Game 6, do or die elimination game. He just shows up and does absolutely nothing.
Can't hit a layup.
Yeah. I mean, he only took 2 shots. One of them was a jumper late in the game that he bricked that anyone that saw him take that shot knew, like, yeah, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it.
That was saying pretty much the whole postseason was like, please don't take that shot half the time. But also at the same sense, depressing. Just an absolute depressing thing to see happen that way.
Get ready to learn Chinese, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see there was I don't know if this was like real or if it was from some weird like sports book, but there was this post that was like the showing the odds of his next team or whatever, and of course like I think the Pistons were number 1 or whatever, and then further down it's just a bunch of like Chinese teams and like teams in like Turkey and places like that.
To be fair, man, like some NBA team will give him money, but like it's not a foregone conclusion that he asks for way more than he's valued as in the NBA and ends up getting more money overseas.
I mean, yeah, if he wants to go somewhere where he's going to be appreciated, I mean, hey, look what Dwight Howard did pretty well in Taiwan. You know, it could become a new hometown hero.
We also didn't need
in Shanghai or something.
We also didn't need max contract value at Tobias in the playoffs. Like, it's such a close. Dude, it's such a close playoff matchup.
Right.
Like, all we needed was 12 points a game.
Yeah, we just needed you to be a serviceable player.
Think
have a couple assists.
Game 6, we lost it by, I don't even remember now.
Every
3
game,
points?
the margin was like, I don't know, 5 or 6 points. Except
it was
for the
like 3 or 5.
Yeah.
I mean, it was Josh Hart hit that dagger 3 at the end.
I mean,
to go up 3 with only a few seconds left or whatever.
Yeah, but all we needed was half an effort. Play half your contract worth of a player.
Think about it. If he puts up 8 points instead of 0, we probably win Game 6 and
Yeah.
we go to Game 7.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Tobias Harris, good Lord. Yeah, I got to read this entire article. I was just reading some of this before we started recording. But shout out Mike O'Connor of the Rights to Ricky Sanchez. Wrote probably a 7-minute read, this article. Just eviscerating Tobias. Like, there are so many good quotes I could sit here and read the entire article. I'm like, it's like the Kendrick Drake feud. Mike O'Connor is Kendrick, and he's just going in on Drake, Tobias, right? It's like that, right? But the last paragraph, I'll read this because it captures how we're all feeling and probably how most Philadelphia 76 fans are feeling. And so, as I do my final reflection on the Tobias era, I have absolutely nothing good to say. I don't have a single positive memory of his time here that is worth mentioning. I will have no nostalgia for watching him, and I feel no degree of sorrow watching him leave. I would say that I'm thrilled, and in some way I am, but frankly, I'm too scarred to celebrate. The torment of rooting for a basketball team that he played for will haunt me for the rest of my life. Goodbye, Toby.
Just about that says it all.
Captures the entire vibe, man. Like, can you think of one?
No.
Can you think of one moment? I can think of one Tobias Harris buzzer beater. One. In 6 years, a guy that was a max contract player.
It's the worst deal in, I think, Philadelphia history. Sports history. I think.
The Ben Simmons deal is worse, but we got off. No. The Ben Simmons deal is worse, but we got off it.
Then that makes it not worse.
But because we got off it.
Yeah, but does it matter?
In terms of overall value, I think we got... No, you know what?
No, I think it's worse.
Because we got...
Yeah. The fact that
we did get James Harden for a year and a half.
$40 million a year.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that the contract is movable makes it less worse.
Right.
Less bad.
You can't say it's worse, but we got off. No, we were stuck. We chose this life.
Yeah, you're right.
We chose this life. We chose this handcuff.
My Ben Simmons hate was trying to take over, but you're right.
This is the worst deal, I think, in Philadelphia sports franchise history, where we paid all this money and got nothing. Nothing at all.
Yeah.
We got nothing out of it.
Yeah, and
it crippled it. It crippled Embiid's career. Honestly, it will be a stain on Embiid's legacy.
That's one of the other things he said in this.
If we somehow can turn this around, not that we're going to go anywhere next year, but if Morey, who said all off season, and we can transition to that stage of like how we feel after the season where we are, but like Morey said at the beginning of this offseason that next year we have a lot of room to work with. We're going to bring in some pieces to build around Embiid. That's why we're not going to do a whole lot this year. You're losing a lot of guys this offseason that were key players in the end of the season and playoff run that we had. Granted, one game here and there popping off, but, Batum's gone, Buddy Hield's gone, Campaign's gone. I mean, everybody that pretty much played in the playoffs is out of here.
Well, it's not a foregone conclusion that they're gone.
No, but they're not.
They're free agents.
Right.
Yeah.
So it essentially you got them for this year and that's it. Where Tobias Harris under Embiid, you could have had Butler. You could have brought in 2 guys for the price of 1.
Yeah.
So it fucked us up. It's the worst deal ever.
Oh yeah, I mean I said that on this pod before. Like the Tobias Harris contract crippled this team for so long. Because you have in a salary cap league, you have someone like him eating $40 million a year, when you could have had, like you said, Jimmy Butler. Like, at some point, you could have brought in Paul George before he goes to the Clippers, right? Like, you could have brought in Kawhi
you could have brought in 2 young bucks, 2 guys who were potentially up-and-coming all-stars and groomed them up a little bit to be good players around Embiid. But you put all your eggs in one basket that rotted to shit.
Like, think about, what they gave up to trade Tobias. They gave up Landry Shamet, who's bounced around a bunch of teams, but, he would have been valuable as a shooter. on this team like the last couple of years, he would have had some value. Like
at least if he plays like shit, he's a young kid who's not really worth a whole lot. No big deal.
He can shoot if nothing else. Basically he's not scared to shoot.
Kind of like what Campaign is for us now.
Right.
Similar player.
But like you give that up, you give up a few draft picks, and like then after you give all of that up, Tobias comes in. You let Jimmy walk because you couldn't control Jimmy, whatever. And at the time, I said, you kind of had to max Tobias because you had to like bring someone back of decent value. But in hindsight, no, they should have let him walk too and had max cap space 5 years ago.
Right.
Instead, what you did is Joel Embiid's prime is pretty much over. Let's call it how it is. He's 30. Turns 31.
There's no way he has another kind of year that he started off with this year. I mean, he might start off again.
We said the same thing last year, and probably the year before that. Not gonna.
But
depends on like the knee and all that stuff. But I'm not gonna.
I don't know, man. Like he
won't be an MVP. I don't think. I'm gonna say he won't be an MVP ever again.
I don't think he's gonna play enough games to do that. I mean,
so he won't. Right. So it doesn't matter what.
Which that's
doesn't
fine.
matter how the knee feels or whatnot. He will never be an MVP again. He might play phenomenal. He might be a phenomenal athlete, no doubt about it. But he will never be an MVP again.
Yeah,
which sucks. He should have been.
Yeah.
But, now you got Jokic.
He got hurt. And, like, Jokic is probably going to get eliminated this round, but that's a different story. But, now, Tobias, man, he just wasted Embiid's prime. Like, 6 years he was here. Embiid went from a spry 25-year-old, whole future in front of him, to 30, or I guess, he's 24, 25, to now he's 30. Meniscus tears in both knees. Like Bell's palsy, like he's fractured both orbitals. You know what I'm saying?
Like a true Philadelphian. You know what I mean? A spry 25-year-old, life in their eyes. You know what I mean? Graduated from Temple University. Then you hang around in Philadelphia way too long with everybody, and next thing you know, you can't see straight. Your legs are all wobbly and shit. You know what I mean? But you still don't leave. You still say, like, maybe next year is my year. I'll get that promotion. You're never going to get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, you're living in with your parents again, or you end up buying up some aunt's or uncle's house, and you're still in Philadelphia.
So what you're saying is
and you have a little kid, Tyrese Maxey. They have a young future in their eyes. They smile all the time. And then next thing you know, they're going to be like, you know what, big man? I got you, dog. We're going to win a championship together. And they bring in, here's my cousin. They bring in maybe Jimmy Butler coming off another leg injury. And then everybody else gets hurt. Again, come down playoff time. And then we're going to see long enough to see Embiid be the villain, Maxey be upset, Butler be hurt. I can see it right now. It's a true Philadelphian romantic tragedy what it is.
Well,
one of them gets hurt, gets addicted to painkillers.
Yeah.
Well, I said last week, I thought Embiid was...
They moved to Chester,
yeah.
I was going to say that too. Yeah, so what you're telling me is Embiid's going to live in Chester. Where you drive down 95 South, you drive past the row homes. We'll be like, man, who's that 7'2" African man coming out that tiny row home?
Embiid's going to be waving cars into his backyard for the Union games, charging them $10 to park.
Big time.
Yeah, shout out Joel. We love you, man. We don't think you're actually going to end up this way.
No.
But Tobias, on the other hand, it's like, let's get off Tobias. We could see
we said enough.
Belabored the Tobias Harris thing.
He ain't worth it.
Doesn't need any more airtime.
So we can talk about a few other things. Guess one thing I want to touch on real quick. This was the take I was saving last week, but I was like, since we won, I'm not going to talk about it. Has it occurred to y'all that the Sixers kind of lack an identity? And they have for most of Embiid's tenure?
No, it doesn't. I think it has occurred to me, and I think that the reason is because they solely build the team around Joel Embiid. You know what I mean? Like his dominance. They want to be a dominant team that way, following through Embiid. I think they're in a tug of war between, all right, well, do we kind of start to build around Maxey's style of play of the quick, offensive, scrappy player, or do we build around Embiid? I think they've given it that kind of toe the line of let's give Embiid the reign.
I mean, it's hard to. I mean, if someone just asks you straight up, like, what is the Sixers' style of play? That's not an easy thing to answer.
There is none.
Yeah, like I mean, like look at the Pacers. Like they play with a lot of pace.
What I've been saying.
Yeah.
It is like the Knicks are super physical.
The Heat
rebounding. The Heat are just like big physical team.
Minnesota, their defensive just intensity is out of this world, and they have the swag of I don't know. They have so much swag because of Ant.
Yeah, but the Sixers is hard to pin
even
them
Karl
down.
Anthony Towns has swag. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's a nerdy dude. But because Ant's on his team, he has swag. So the entire team takes after him.
Yeah.
Look at the Nuggets. Like, Jokic is the most unselfish player in the league. As a result, the entire team is just unselfish. Yeah. Passes the ball, gives it up. They're probably going to lose this series, but they're playing a really good team.
Well, I think it doesn't help that Embiid is a naturally goofy man, too. So, like, he's more of a character than he is a locker room, like, leader. When he's hot, he's goofy as shit. He's doing the fucking airplane shit at the half court. He's jerking off to the crowd. Like, he's doing funny things to, like, get the crowd going. But he's not like a Shaq where he's going to beat you to the ground and dominate the game. He didn't ever have that really anger in him like that.
Yeah.
For a big man.
Yeah.
He's a goofy big man.
Which, like...
So, like, he's like a class clown, but he's 7'2". And Maxey also doesn't help that he's, like, smart. Not for nothing. Brunson's got that dog in him. I think Maxey this
you
postseason...
can build an identity around Maxey.
I think Maxey this postseason against the Knicks finally showed that he can have that little bit of dog in him. And
he's got a little bit of killer instinct.
Happened. It just now clicked. But he's only 25, 24.
Yeah. Try 23, I think.
I think he turned 24.
Yeah, he's young yet.
So it just happened. So that's good. But I think you have to, if I'm Nick Nurse and Daryl Morey, you have to realize the future is in Maxey. You don't have to kick out Embiid, but that's the man that you have to, like, okay, build a team around youth and speed. Every team in the West that's winning is younger, faster, stronger.
Right, that's been the most, like, shocking thing to watch all these teams, man. It's wild.
You build your team around age, and it's not a bring all the all-stars together and win anymore. It's you have to go through the draft or youth free agency or a mix of both, kind of like football or whatever, and even baseball, where you bring in some savvy vets, some good all-stars or whatever through free agency, but you have to be able to nail those draft picks and also kind of find those diamonds in the rough here and there.
You could take the OKC model, and that's what the Sixers should have been, right? Even the Minnesota model.
That's what it could have been if the NBA didn't sabotage the process.
Also, if you didn't miss the whole two, Tatum and Brown drafts as well, but, is what it is. Yes. We had that model, but we fucked it up ourselves.
So, yeah, Trevor, you bring up, that's what the Sixers could have been if the NBA didn't come in and just destroy everything. You know whose fault that is? This is whose fault all this is. The team doesn't have an identity. They started in purgatory, had the process, and they're still in purgatory. You know whose fault all this is? They've had 3 coaches in the Embiid era, 4 GMs in the Embiid era. Whose fault all this is? Josh Harris.
Yeah.
This is all his fault, man.
Mr. Commanders, Devils, Josh Harris.
Yeah, this is all his fault. Like, if he actually cared about running a successful basketball team instead of just buying more teams, he'd be putting more effort in. He'd be letting things marinate a little bit instead of just, oh, you're not making money for me. New coach, new GM.
Yeah, if he was really a no-nonsense, cutthroat billionaire businessman guy, as soon as they were threatening to force out Hinkie, he should have just had Adam Silver killed.
Hey.
How hard could it be?
Not,
know?
How many attempted assassinations do you think there have been on a professional sports commissioner?
Yeah, I don't know.
Probably at least one.
I feel like back in the day, those old baseball commissioners had to have had some people come out.
Oh, that's a good point.
Kennesaw Mountain Landis, there's definitely some people that wanted to get his ass.
In the early 1900s, those guys were scummy.
Yeah. They were some scummy dudes. Feel like some just a matter of like who can get close to them. There's definitely people that want to kill these people. Fucking, Roger Goodell, he certainly got some. I feel like if someone's gonna kill Roger Goodell, it would probably be like some former player with CTE, just detonating a vest.
Antonio Brown, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. He'll go from talking about Caton Clark to life in prison for assassinating Roger Goodell.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's neither here nor there. Yeah, what were we talking about? The Sixers.
Yeah, we're still on the Sixers. They don't have no identity. And I blame Josh Harris.
Yeah, forever.
That's another reason why, this is, it almost feels like, how like every presidential election, everyone's like, this is the most important election of your life. But like, and people always say that about like the offseason, but like this one really is the most important Sixers offseason in, most important one, and probably will be in for a long time.
Probably of our lifetime.
This is Daryl Morey finally has an opportunity. There's like no excuses. Like this is your, you're not hampered by
you have a
the
free
Toby
max
contract
deal.
anymore.
You got a pretty decent.
You got draft picks. You got
a pretty decent free agency pool too.
Yeah,
is it?
There's not a ton of
I think as far as role players,
I didn't say the best. I just said it's decent enough.
As far as guys that like stars, it's pretty much just
you have the money to make a decent move and not nothing crazy, but you got Paul George, you got Butler, but then at my same point,
Butler's not a free agent.
My same point though is that you still have to try to either want to bring back but free agent wise though, you want to bring back. Do you want to bring back Buddy? Do you want to bring back Campaign? Do you want to bring back Batum? Like there's a lot of guys that were keep.
Some of those guys would be worth keeping if they came back for a lot.
Yeah.
Dude, this free agent pool isn't. Tobias, one of the top free agents. Buddy Hield, one of the top free agents.
I would bring
a man
back
named
Buddy.
James Harden, I believe, is
James Harden.
Toby.
Dude, this is just like who's who of former Sixers. James Harden, Kyle Lowry, Buddy Hield.
I'm saying all these guys that were
Markelle Fultz. Y'all bring Markelle Fultz back as a bench guard. I would actually.
I'm just saying, there's a lot of room.
Robert Covington, Rashawn Holmes, PJ Tucker. Yo, it's wild. We've had all these guys.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, man. You keep trying to talk. I'm just wild.
No. I'm just saying, you have, it's like I said, it's just a decent pool of players to bring back. We have money to actually move around. We don't have to give out a max deal because we can, but.
Yeah, it definitely seems like where Morey's head is at, that he wants to, he's always star hunting. And
but he hasn't landed yet.
Yeah, well,
he hasn't landed any one of them yet.
Yeah, let's talk about these stars then. So the obvious name, Paul George.
Paul George,
top
30
free
what?
agent.
4?
They're.
I don't know about that, man.
They're for 100% going to offer him a max deal. It's just a matter of whether the Clippers also
the Clippers haven't matched it yet. They've had months to do it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Tell us why. I don't disagree with you. But
I'm gonna say no. I think he's old. I think he's washed, and I think that he's not in an environment to learn. I think at the fourth point as well, if you're building around Embiid to win now, it hasn't worked. You have to build around Maxey. Get someone else that's younger. Get him for like a 2 or 3 year deal. Call it a day. I don't need. What do you get Paul George at 34 for a max deal for what? It'll be another either a Tobias Harris deal. Or another similar, what's it called? I can't even think of the name right now, but it ain't gonna work out.
Yeah, I disagree with some of what you said, but I agree with the premise. Right? It's like Trevor, you go. Then I'll give my thoughts.
With just Paul George.
Yeah.
It doesn't excite me. I think that it's definitely a not insignificant upgrade over Tobias Harris, and I don't know. It's just like obviously at the end of that deal is going to be bad. There's no getting around that. It's just I guess the way you have to look at it is like, is the first like year or two of that deal going to give them a chance to get over the hump? And like, I don't know. I don't know. I would like to think that there's a better way to use that cap space, but you just went through that list of free agents or whatever. There's nothing really earth-shattering on there.
Yeah.
I guess the one thing you could say is if they did that, then they would still have all these picks to maybe trade for some role player guys. What I don't, I guess we can talk about Jimmy next or whatever. I don't want
to. Yeah, I'll do my Paul George piece.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's old, right? Like, it's funny saying he's old. He's my age, but
for an NBA
years, yeah, he's old. And in a lot of ways, he would be a good fit. Like, he's a good off-ball player.
Theoretically, he fits into this, the lineup,
Yeah, he's a good off-ball player. He's a good defender on and off ball. He can handle he'll have a game every now and again where he'll take over and he'll drop 30 or 40. But I just think in the Eastern Conference, he doesn't match up against the other wings. Like, Tatum's better than him, right? You know what I mean? Paolo Banchero is going to be better than him in a couple years, right? Like, OG Anunoby's not better than him, but OG Anunoby's probably going to lock him up defensively. It's just, I don't know. I can't get that excited about it. He's a known playoff choker for the most part. I mean, Embiid showed out this year. I can't say Embiid always chokes in playoffs. Embiid played great, really injured this year. But, the last thing we need is someone with that reputation in a town that has dealt with plenty of playoff failures in the last 2 years alone.
If this is PG coming out of the Pacers, I'll take him. Mm-hmm. No big deal.
And it's PG 11 years later.
Yeah.
Massive foot injury later.
Right.
A decade of wear and tear. Nah.
I'm cool.
I can't get there. It's not Tobias Harris level bad. I think PG, even when he's 38, is going to be more useful to this team than Tobias when he was like 30. But I'm not that excited about it. So, that's my Paul George take. I do think he's probably the most likely of these guys to become a Sixer.
I mean, like Trevor said, Morey wants him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's been kind of what he's been laying these little breadcrumbs for the last year and a half about, is that we're going to build a team, we're going to bring some superstars in here, we're star hunting, this and that. But this offseason, your star hunting is old stars. I mean, there ain't nobody out there that you can grab. You're like, what? I wouldn't be excited about whoever they bring in, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Even if they do somehow figure out a Jimmy Butler deal, whatever, like there's people that are out there that really aren't, you're backing off of getting one older, banged up superstar and then a bunch of role players that you hope have been here before. But we've seen how this team evolves. I mean, Embiid will most likely get hurt midway through the season, and you'll have to rely on the team gelling and figuring out how to play without him for half the year to get him in playoff contention, and then figure out how to play with him to be able to get the playoff spot, and then figure out how to play with all each other in a playoff environment. It's just a tough, it's an endless cycle of depression and doom that we're just going to be ready to have to buckle up for again.
I mean, I know. But,
but this year I felt decent about. At least a little bit. I'm not going to lie.
I felt good.
I thought they could beat the Knicks, to be honest with you. To start the series, I thought we're like, all right, we can do it.
I said Knicks in 7.
It was such a close series. I was like, all right, we can do it.
It was a coin flip series. If the refs didn't screw us colossally in game 2, who knows?
I know.
Right?
But I feel like you play that series 100 times, we win 50 times, and Knicks win 50 times. This is that kind of series.
But
it just stinks.
Anyway, we can talk about Jimmy Butler next.
I bring him back. 100% I bring him back.
Okay.
I'd rather bring back Jimmy Butler than Paul George.
Trevor, what do you got?
So, when I first heard, Jimmy Butler, my initial reaction was like, oh, yeah, I would rather do that than Paul George, but I've kind of done a 180. I think I'm a no on Jimmy.
But you just said you were a no on Paul George, too.
I didn't say I was a firm no. I said I wasn't excited about it.
I'll run a tape back. You were not. Time out. Jimmy's not selling the Paul George take.
No, he did say he would do it, but he's not excited about it.
Yeah, I'm just like, it would be a thing.
But you would.
I'm even more extreme than Trevor.
Yeah, I mean, so the Jimmy thing is like, it's not as good of a fit. He is also he's just as old as Paul George. Has also dealt with injuries. I don't really. I feel like he's gonna demand the ball more. I don't like the fit with Maxey. And you have to give up assets for him. Yeah. So I would much rather use those draft picks to try to get some key role players I don't know who out there
there's
maybe a Lauri Markkanen type of guy or someone like that.
He's going to cost a lot.
Well,
I know what you mean.
But I'm just saying, I don't want to, we finally recoup these draft picks from Harden. I don't really want to flip them back for, another guy that's I guess I get that everyone loves Jimmy and the personality's great and the intensity he plays with is great, but I don't know. I'm not really loving the fit. And I feel like he has a lot of the same like injury concerns as a lot of these other guys, and I don't want to give up assets for him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty much right there with you on Jimmy. Like, love Jimmy, man. His year in Philadelphia, he was a man. He's been in Miami. He's been hilarious, right? His playoff intensity, next level. Like, one of the best playoff performers of our generation. He's old. Jimmy is literally 2 days younger than me, right? And, like...
What's that, 40?
I ain't that old. Trevor's older than me.
Okay.
Jimmy turns 35 this year, right? He turns 35 on September 14th. 1989, yo. We're 2 days apart. But anyway, yeah, I think Jimmy's older. I mean, you heard what, like, did y'all hear what Pat Riley was saying? He was like, yeah, I'll give him a max when he suits up. He plays like 50 games a year. You can't have him and Embiid both playing 50 games a year and expect to be a top contender in the East. You're just going to end up where the Sixers and Heat were. You're going to be a play-in team every year. You're going to have to go battle uphill, in this case, against a 2 seed like the Knicks. The Sixers played valiantly, but they lost. And yeah, you sacrifice too many picks and too much value that could help build the team otherwise around someone like Jimmy, that he makes your playoff ceiling higher, but he makes your regular season floor way lower.
But you gotta get there first.
Exactly. You gotta get there. So, yeah, love Jimmy. Jimmy's the man, but I think that ship has sailed. He was here. We let him go. He went off and had the best years of his life in his prime, and we missed out on the opportunity. But yeah, I guess we could talk about Brandon Ingram. I don't really like him neither.
Yeah, that sounds like another Tobias waiting to happen.
Yeah. Slightly better, but yeah.
Yeah, nah.
Yeah, I think we're all in agreement on him, so we don't even got to bring him up. What I think, 2 things. Somehow they got to try to get Mikal Bridges.
I would love that.
That would be perfect.
Yeah.
We'd have our Nova guy, finally.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that would be great. It's just that I feel like the Nets are in denial about like where they are.
They're so bad. They still have Ben Simmons. Just tank. Just sell.
Yeah.
Hit the Met Gala right now.
Yo, did you see him at the Met Gala?
With the clock?
Looking like Flavor Flav up there. You saw that?
What is wrong with this guy, dude? He can't show up to a basketball game and suit up, but he can show up to the Met Gala looking like, I don't even...
Someone
like
said
Inspector Gadget and Flavor Flav had a baby.
Someone said he's got time for that, but no time for fucking NBA. He's actual day-to-day job.
Right. It's...
How does he even get an invite to that anymore?
He's a fashion man.
Yeah, who invited him?
He can't even, like, I mean, he's not, you can't even really consider him, he's not a star NBA player anymore.
He's not even a role player. He's not even an NBA player.
He don't play.
Yeah.
I think
exactly.
No, he hasn't played at all.
He played like 10 games this season.
He had to buy his ticket.
Yeah.
But
he could.
I mean, he's making that money.
Yeah, he's making that money. That's for sure.
It must be nice, man.
Yeah.
It's like, I would feel...
That's that Brooklyn life.
I would feel like such a scum of the earth person if I was him, man. Just finagling all this money out of teams, not playing, and just live this lush life of just welfare and richness.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
you would not feel like...
I don't think I'd feel so bad.
Yeah, I'd be like, yeah, well, fuck this shit, yeah. He owes nothing
where's his
to...
pride,
if someone offered me that job, I think I'd have to take it.
I have too much pride to just be like, oh, mental health issues that are non-existent. Oh, back injuries. Oh.
He don't even have a real spine. I heard he's got no back.
He doesn't. You're right. But anyway, well, we all hate Ben Simmons. We all hate Tobias Harris.
He proves his worth playing Call of Duty and Fortnite, Sim of the Savage.
He's probably not even that good, dude. I'm sure he's getting whooped by 10-year-olds on Fortnite.
Yeah,
he's probably butt, dude. He's probably... Yo, imagine him in there screaming at 10-year-olds like, I don't care, I'm in the NBA. 10-year-olds like, no, you're not.
Yeah. Averaging 4 and 5, dickhead. Yeah.
But yo, I think so. That'd be my first move, would be to somehow get Mikal Bridges. Move number 2 is just to build around these role players. When I look around this free agent list, Markelle Fultz would be a great backup guard. He'd be more reliable than DeAnthony Melton. No disrespect to DeAnthony Melton. A bigger guard. Markelle Fultz is still only 26. He's young yet.
Could he perform though in Philadelphia again?
I think he could. I think he could now.
Is Buddy Hield on that list?
I'm not bringing Buddy back.
I would like Buddy Hield back.
I'm bringing back
for like a lot less money, maybe.
Yeah.
Malik Monk's probably going to get more money than the Sixers want to spend.
Mo Bamba?
Give me... Hell no. Give me... Caleb Martin on the Heat. Give me that guy. He's a baller,
I'll
dude.
take him.
Give me him. Give me... Who else we got on this list? There's Derek Jones Jr. That guy's athletic as hell. Give me him. Sadiq Bey. That's another Villanova guy. He's a shooter.
Yeah,
he's a baller. Give me him. You know what I mean? There's some guys.
Yeah, I mean,
there's some guys on this list that you could build a team around Embiid and Maxey.
Yeah, because I feel like, you know, it seems like there's just this obsession in the NBA with having 3 stars.
Yeah.
The Nuggets had
who are the Nuggets 3 stars? Yeah,
they had Jokic and Murray.
That's it.
Yeah.
Think of
and it's like, they had Gordon, every one of these fucking teams that does like puts the big 3 together, it falls apart. The Nets fucking failed. The Suns
Clippers
failed. The Clippers failed.
The Lakers.
Yeah, it's like
you
just need some guys.
That's why Minnesota's so good.
Yeah,
it's
they're 3 stars.
Half a star.
Gobert
is like he's a very good defensive
player.
player.
He should not have won that Defensive Player of the Year, though. We'll say. I think Wembanyama should have won that shit. If you look at blocks, deflections.
One of these days, Embiid's got to take that.
He's never going.
He doesn't have
he's
enough blocks.
He's not going to play enough games now.
Yeah,
or
I guess
blocks per game, or deflect. He actually doesn't play like as aggressive defense as someone that should win that award does play.
Yeah, but when healthy, Embiid's the best defender in the league. I don't care what anyone says.
I wouldn't disagree with that, but
I would argue against. But that's a discussion for another day.
So, I guess the last thing about the Sixers that I had is out of all their free agents, they got a lot. Buddy Hield, Tobias Harris, Nick Batum, DeAnthony Melton, Cam Payne, Kelly Oubre, Mo Bamba, Kyle Lowry.
I'd love to bring Oubre back.
Okay, I was going to say pick one that you would want back. You got
Oubre? Oubre. He's young. He's aggressive, physical. Plays great offense, honestly, too, when you need him to. I mean, he was a star in this whole offensive series against the Knicks. Of any constant, if you take out Embiid and Maxey, I think he was probably our most consistent player in the playoffs.
He had a couple down games, but you're right. Yeah,
but
you're right.
A guy on a veteran deal for 1 year, I think he played his fucking ass off. And he helped us get to the playoffs to begin with, too. Those couple weeks.
That's true, yeah.
Those few months that we had without Embiid, he had a couple career-high games in points, career-high games of rebounds, career games of assists. I mean, he played his ass off for this team, and I think that for the value that you get him back, I would love to have Oubre back on this team.
They're not going to get him for a vet minimum. That's
the
thing.
No, but not for vet minimum. But I'm saying this year we had him for that. Next year, I think he's due his flowers to at least get a little bit more money because he did play his ass off, and we got him for cheap because he played for a shitty team, but I think he deserves another shot, and he would love to come back, I think.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see what kind of offers he gets.
And he's young.
It's hard to really...
We can't compete with anybody else, throw more money and all that, but I think that if he wants to stay in Philadelphia, I'd love to have him back.
Yeah, I mean, he seemed to like it here,
Trevor, who's your pick? Your pick's Kelly as well?
Yeah, I think out of all those... I mean, it's like... there's a lot of those guys that I wouldn't mind bringing back. Who I think you could bring back for very cheap. Some of them, it's like just a matter of if they want to continue playing. Like, I mean, I would like to have Kyle Lowry on the bench, just like your elder statesman of the team. I think he's good to have around. And he was like, he was pretty good in the. He's not a guy that you want in your starting 5 on the playoff team
because he was exhausted.
But he's definitely like a guy that you'd love to have on your bench to give you a little spark and some energy, and that can.
He played. He's like a little
the younger
fucking
guys
Mighty
a thing or
Mouse
two, all that shit. But yeah, in terms of to have the most actual impact on the team, probably Oubre. I think he proved that he can be a pretty effective player.
So I'm going to switch it up.
You're going to say Campaign.
Now I'm going to say Batum.
Yeah. But if he doesn't retire.
He seems very likely to retire, but his utility on this team, man, think about it. He played great defense on Tyler Hero in the playing game.
Big defender, yeah.
The first 2 games against the Knicks, he was locking Jalen Brunson down.
Mm-hmm.
He's a great passer. He can shoot. Like, he can rebound. He can block a shot every now and again. If he still wants to play, and you're not going to have to pay that much for him. Like, Kelly, you're going to have to pay $10, $12 million a year. Batum's probably coming back on a vet minimum to play for a contender.
But does he give you a full season, though?
He probably gives you 60 or 70 games. He gives you most of a season and the playoffs, I think. Yeah, Batum's my pick, but I think he's more likely to retire, so it's probably a moot point.
I think Batum for a playoff value makes total sense. You know what I mean? But I think that I think Oubre gives you that full value for the contract because he can give you the full season and play.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
I would love Batum if he was 8 years younger.
Oh, he was a hooper 8 years ago.
Great,
he was a baller, yo.
7 foot, playing defense, good offense. But I just am hard pressed to believe that he would give you the value for even a cheaper deal in the hopes that you make the playoffs and he can come up there and do his thing. Because he was pretty irrelevant. What he scored 2-3 points a game.
He had a couple of huge games in the playoffs, but yeah.
No, playoffs, but during the regular season. So you're going to pay him to, that's all. But yeah.
All right. Well, we'll have a whole off season to talk about the Sixers. I feel like we spent like 50 minutes talking about them.
Yeah, we got to move on to something.
Let's talk Phillies real quick, yo.
Yeah, Phillies been doing good. I think we're still hanging on the first in the division as it stands. We somehow played 5 more games in the Braves.
So here's the deal with that, right? When we play that London series, there are travel days built in where we're not playing.
Okay, that's
why we've crammed so many more games in when the Braves had off days.
Gotcha.
The Mets, I feel like, have played around the same number of games as we have because of the same reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're 2 games up on the Braves.
I keep forgetting that they're playing in London.
In like June.
In a month.
Yeah, it's kind of soonish. Yeah.
Yeah, man, hot. I mean, we were saying that at the beginning of the year. We're like, hey, if they start off hot, we'll all feel better. They built this roster for a big start, and they have done that. Little injury-ridden here and there. You got Turner going down for a minute. You got Baum going out with a little bit of tightness here and there. But people have pretty much stepped up and shown up in that moment. You know what I mean?
I mean, the other day they put out that fucking putrid lineup, and they still
that was wild.
And they put up like 10 runs.
15,
against the best pitcher in the American League.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Was it 12?
10-1.
10-1.
Yeah, Harper hit a grand slam.
Yeah,
Cody Clemens going deep.
Yeah. Cody Clemens,
2 starts.
Dude, it was hilarious. I saw this list of notable players that have hit 2 home runs, and it had like all these names, like Ronald Acuna was on there, I think, and some other big players, and they've all and it's showing like how many like games they played, and it's like Cody Clemens like 5 games, 2 home runs, but yeah. I mean, Cody Clemens, I mean, it's kind of unfortunate. There's really like not a good spot for him when everyone's healthy, but he's definitely good enough to be on a big league roster.
I mean, his dad was like roided up with a Hall of Fame level pitcher all the same, right? So some of those genes had to pass down.
Yeah, and then steroids, but hey,
yeah, he might have taken
probably.
Yeah, some of the roids may have been in his system.
He probably got drug tested after that game.
There's a reason why he was.
He probably got drug tested right after that.
Yeah.
They're probably like, "All right, Cody, you got to come pee in this cup, man."
There's a reason
why
he
drug tested him when he was born.
There's a reason why he was the fastest sperm. I mean, he won the race. Come on now, someone had to win that shit. He was out there, juiced up. Ain't nobody testing that shit. Bang! He won the race.
The one now look at just like beating the shit.
Yeah, he's just huge. He's eating the other ones. Going crazy.
Right.
Yeah, man. Protein, baby. But he's doing his thing.
Nah, that team's been doing good in spite of Trea Turner getting hurt. Whit Merrifield recently coming off an 8-game hitting streak,
and wanting to play and sent a text to Rob Thompson saying, "Yeah, I think I would like to take extra work to be able to play shortstop in the leave of Trea Turner." And he was like, "Well, let's just see what happens real quick." Mr. Utility Man, but we'll see what's up.
Hey, he wants to play, man. Good for him.
I get it. Never played shortstop in his life.
Oh, for real?
First time for everything.
I didn't realize that. I thought he had it some point.
He never played shortstop. No, the only position he never played. Well, not only, but
one of few.
One of a very few he never played.
Man, okay. Good for him. No, I like a Whit Merrifield.
Yeah.
He's just a gritty veteran
player. That's that utility shit.
Yeah.
I mean, go for it.
Every team needs that guy.
Team has a need, a 3-time All-Star. I mean, can't say no.
Yeah,
what's your second option?
You don't really have one. Yeah, they don't have a whole lot of depth in the minors.
No.
So, yeah, he's got to play, and he's been doing good. Yeah. Castellanos, his last 5 games. Castellanos,
he's been coming on a little
bit. Been doing good. He's 7 of 18 in his last 5 games.
Someone's about to die
3
soon.
doubles.
Yeah, something's going to happen
3 RBIs.
Yes.
Jimmy Carter might finally be your time.
Yo, this man's been on hospice for 2 years.
There was a tornado. The tornado did fuck up
when Jimmy Carter dies, when Jimmy Carter dies, Castellanos is hitting a walk-off grand slam
with his dick
in the play. It's gonna Jimmy Carter's going to hang on until Game 7 of the World Series, and Castellanos and he's going to croak right before the game, and Castellanos is sending us home with the grand slam.
We're winning the World Series.
Yeah, the ultimate walk-off with this fucking Woody. Yeah, it'd be nuts. Damn.
Yeah. They're gonna take the bat that he used and use it to repurpose it into wood for one of those Habitat for Humanity homes.
There's a brand new door frame.
It'll be a pillar that holds up the house. It'll be the foundation.
Yeah, but the Phillies are hot as shit. Hotter than ever. I'll take that. Bullpen is still the number 1 in the league. Took down the first game against the Blue Jays and
lost
the best pitcher. But whatever. They're all
going to lose eventually. Yeah. I think they had been 13 straight wins at home or something.
I think they were going
12.
for their...
It was 12.
Oh, they were going for their 12th.
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah.
So can't complain.
And they're the best record in baseball. 14 games over 500 in May. Usually they're 14 games over 500 in September.
But we're making a playoff push. Yeah.
Right. So if they can keep this up, granted the Trea Turner injury kind of hurts. But, if they can keep this up and maintain 14 to 20 games over 500, come September when they really turn it up every year, they could cruise to a division win, which would be great. I'm tired of the Braves.
I'm
tired of this wild card series shit. Yeah. Let's just win the fucking division for once.
Yeah, make everyone have to come to Philly.
Yeah.
None of that, we got to go play in Arizona. We got to go play in Atlanta. Nope. Make everyone come through here first. Yeah. I mean, you're seeing it in regular season games now, man. The atmosphere is just off the chain.
Even against Toronto, when they beat them the first game, was packed.
And that's a random Tuesday in May. Yeah. It's wild.
Thank God it was packed because they had that grand slam. It was a whole fucking full thing. It was great to see.
Yeah, that was epic. That was incredible.
I think also that I know we hate the new Dog Night setup, but Bryce Harper
he has been killing it.
3 for 3.
They do need...
10 RBIs, 3 home runs. The dude's been crushing it for this bongo, bingo, whatever the fuck it's called.
I dare say they keep it if he's going to keep hitting like this.
Even though I miss
$1 Dog Night. Though.
I'll sacrifice a few dollars for Bryce Harper to match dingers.
The last Dog Night was, what'd you call it, Trevor? The lines were ridiculous and unacceptable. So maybe we ain't missing that much. And if Bryce keeps raking like this...
Say no more.
Cool as the other side of the pillar, man. We good.
Yep.
But so then we got to talk about the Trea Turner injury. We got to talk about this lady.
Oh, yeah.
So this is from Fox 29. Shout out Fox 20. It's they ain't getting a shout out on this pod.
We love Fox 29.
Yeah. We're not the pod of conservative boomers. We never will be. I don't love a Fox 29.
It's the local.
It's local. It's like Mike Jarek. It's not like Fox News
channel.
Yeah.
Whatever. They still be spitting that conservative nonsense. in my opinion,
during the pouring rain, it's not raining out.
Local news in general is pretty reactionary and fear mongering and whatever. That's a different discussion for another time.
But anyway, this lady straight up fell for a man impersonating Phillies Trea Turner. Accused of scamming 70-year-old woman of $50,000. Police investigating. So this 70-year-old woman living in Towamensing Township was scammed out of $50,000 by someone impersonating Trea Turner. Let's get to her quotes. I followed his career. I'm a baseball fan. He writes me back and says, "Oh, thank you for your encouragement. Because of you, did you see how many hits I got? I got a standing O." And I'm thinking... Something's not right here, she said. He said, "Oh, I love you." What? I'm 70 years old. I have varicose veins older than this guy. She says the messages got more personal, more strange, and included photos of Turner, his wife, and children. Oh, he was relentless, but he's convincing. He's repeating things that I knew Trea Turner did on the ball field.
Things that only Trea Turner could know.
Yeah, he hit a double.
Yeah, these things that happened on games that are
Nationally
meticulously
televised.
recorded and
He
documented.
did wear those powder blue shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that powder blue jersey that, all the Phillies players were wearing that day.
His mom did call him a bitch. Damn.
He kept harping on it about 3 weeks, so I finally said, all right, what do you want? The woman says the imposter explained that he was not getting along with his wife and needed help with various properties to keep it quiet. The request for money, different accounts, and ways to send money followed. I was gullible. I believed him. I should have known better, but I just overlooked it. Like, how does that happen?
50 grand?
Dude.
Just
to a baseball player?
Right.
Trea Turner?
The guy who the Phillies signed for, 11 years?
350?
350? $30 million a year?
I also love the fact, the idea that it's obviously absurd that Trea Turner would need some third party to give him $50,000 for any reason. But the fact
he makes that much in that bad.
But the idea that he would turn to some stranger on the internet for this instead of anyone that he knows,
A 7-year woman, but that's who's fucking in Congress right now. Not gonna make it that way, but hey, you ain't wrong. Come on now.
Yeah.
It's the same fucking people that are
people that are running the country.
TikTok is ruining our brain. Come on now.
No, you're absolutely right.
It's fucking sickening. Shame on her, to be honest.
Oh yeah, I don't feel bad for her.
No, fuck her.
Yeah,
I feel kind of bad.
Nah, I don't feel bad at all. Fuck this chick.
She's
also,
not,
50K. Good for her to have. Good for her to be.
If you have 50K to just throw around
good for her though to be 70 years old.
She needs to let me get $5.
Yeah, let me get
you know who needs to get $5? My man from Lucky last week. She needs to get him $5.
Yeah. Instead of she could have gave 10,000 people $5 instead of
and just like
giving
that,
50,000 to this guy.
Her grandkids now
I've probably done a lot more good for the world.
That.
Yeah, that's her grandkids' college tuition.
Yeah.
Ooh,
they said, "Damn, Grandma,
those grandkids are like, oh, disown me, Grandma."
Yeah.
She said, "Yeah, but I helped Trea Turner
going to community college now. Sorry, kids.
Not even.
Man, she really fell for that. Yo, 70s, it's not even that old.
Yeah, it's not crazy. I mean, it's not.
But
it's
people start getting a little weird, though. I'm not gonna lie. It's the internet. It's not their age. It's just real life shit. They're good to go. Internet technology.
Yeah.
Shit starts getting a little off the rails. Hello. You can't say I don't know. She was just a little Trea Turner.
That's her. That's not most people. My parents ain't falling for that.
Well, I mean, yeah,
my parents are approaching 70.
This could have been the 1,000th person that he tried this on. You know what I mean? I'm sure that
that's true.
He didn't just first try, bam, got that 50 grand. I'm sure he.
You hope so.
I'm sure he got a lot of rejected messages, but finally hooked.
Yeah, he was probably lurking on Facebook.
If he was fishing for a while, finally got a bite.
It's not a bad hustle.
Yeah.
I would never do it though. Ethically, I would feel too bad.
I would never do it, but
on record.
Yeah, on the record, on the pod.
Yeah, on the recorded airwaves.
No, it's fucked up. It's terrible. But good for her. Hopefully she gets her money back.
They didn't find the guy, right? They didn't. Haven't identified him or anything.
He probably deleted all his stuff.
I'm sure.
Changed his IP address. Changed his bank account.
Now
he probably got rid of all that.
She's like, I just paid Bryce Harper last week.
Shell company or something. But anyway,
because that was mostly the last thing about the Phillies, right? They got an easy schedule coming up.
I feel like they've had an easy.
Well, they play the Marlins.
It gets easier.
They play the Marlins right now.
We got the Marlins for 3. We got the Mets for 2 at home, then 2 in New York, then the Nationals for 3. The Nationals have been playing pretty good. They're about 500.
It's a big divisional swing, which is easy on paper right now because they're all ass, but
divisional games can go anywhere.
You know,
I mean, the Marlins.
Yeah, the Marlins
might sweep us.
Yeah, you take it for what it's worth. We're a hot team right now, but it's still,
Speaking of the Marlins, this was hilarious. Did you guys see a couple nights ago? It was the Marlins were playing the Dodgers, and I guess on MLB Network they were doing a little, sometimes they'll just preview games that are going on or whatever, and that game was just about to start. And I forget who it was that was on there at the time. He was just being like, I'm calling right now. We got a no-hitter watch going on right here because it was Yamamoto was pitching. And they're like, yeah, the game hasn't started yet, but I'm calling it right now. We got a no-hit watch, everybody. And they put a little graphic up that's just like no-hitter alert or whatever. The game hadn't even started yet. First pitch of the game, Jazz Chisholm hits a home run. Literally the first pitch of the game.
Yeah, you can't be calling that.
It was so fucking funny.
You can't even do that in the 7th inning.
No, you don't
let
say
alone the start of the before the game even started. That's asinine, man. That's obnoxious. That's a Dodgers commentator?
No, that's a guy on MLB Network.
Oh.
That's just a big no-no. You don't do that whenever. Say that
it could be like the 8th inning. Like, once it gets to the 9th inning, you might start to talk about it, sure.
7th inning? Definitely not. 8th inning?
Not before the game starts. What the hell's wrong with you?
That's a bold move, though. Respect that, man, I will say. He has some big old bronze ball. He said, you know what? Fuck it.
Yeah.
A no.
Taking that slim, that like 1 in 1,000 chance of looking like a real genius.
He definitely had no money on that game. Yeah.
Yeah, he probably bet a no-hitter. The odds on that were probably like plus.
I don't even know if you can bet on. Well, I'm
sure
you can
some
somewhere.
sports books.
I'm just saying. I'm sure he had.
If you can think it up, you can probably bet somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what did I see you could bet on the other day? I saw something. It wasn't even sports related. You could bet on it.
Dogfighting.
Oh, it was the Kendrick. It was the Kendrick Drake.
Oh.
Who's gonna come back next with a song? And like the odds were
like Kendrick minus 1,000.
Yeah.
And
then like who won or who's winning or who's gonna win. Like the odds for that were like Kendrick
saw
minus like 700.
The last track that Drake put up it was like on YouTube. It surpassed 1 million dislikes. It looks like a record.
Yeah, what the hard part? The hard part 6.
Yeah.
That was buck, dude.
Yeah. He's
like when we're all hanging out. When we're all hanging out Sunday night, like we're all.
Didn't
we
play him? We played Kendrick
a
little bit. We played Kendrick a little bit.
I went home and like listened to the Heart Part 6 like 3 times, and I was like, "Yeah, this sucks.
Yeah,
this isn't even good." I'm hoping we get some more violence this weekend.
I'm sure.
I feel like it's over.
Yeah, I think Kendrick knows he won. I feel like Kendrick.
There's
probably
nothing
has
left. There's nothing left.
He probably
to say.
has more if he wanted to say.
I'm sure he's got some a few left in the chamber, but I don't even think it's necessary.
Like every time Drake releases,
you might as well just say whatever like production he had on those. You might as well just save it for the next album. No reason to.
Yeah, he needs to come out with a new album.
But anyway,
he needs a rebound album.
Yeah,
that last album sucked though.
Yeah, it wasn't great. It was certainly not as. It's probably as.
It sucked.
I don't want to say it was worse.
Actually, I don't think I even listened to it.
Honestly. Mr. Morale, it was
ass.
It's emotional, but like
that was funny. Some people were.
It's hard to follow up
because I guess like that album got like a big surge in like listens on Spotify or something, and people were saying like, "Man, Kendrick's beating Drake so bad, he's got people listen to Mr. Morale."
I mean, it has its moments. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, I mean, he's earned a clunker.
Yeah, I mean, he accomplished so much with his first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 albums, right? Yeah. So, but anyway, this isn't a hip hop podcast. It could be. I'd be down with that.
Maybe in the summer when the sports get lean, we can. Anyway,
when we're stupid.
Anything else with the Phils?
No, we're done with them. We got an easy schedule coming up.
Yeah.
Want to touch on the Birds real quick?
Yeah, I guess the Flyers are the 12th pick. Nothing else to say.
Yeah, we'll have more NHL
it's like
draft coverage.
Pretty much a dead period for the Flyers until the draft.
Yeah, we got like 2 months to talk about the NHL draft.
But yeah,
or no, probably about a month. Probably about a month actually.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, June
after the playoffs are over. But the Birds, the coordinators make an appearance with the media. Vic Fangio, Kellen Moore, answer some questions. Did you guys see the press conferences? Or I saw a couple little clips. But...
I read a couple quotes on Twitter. That was the extent of what I saw. But I enjoyed Vic Fangio, man. There was at one point he was talking about the Phillies. Someone tweeted out he was talking about his love for the Phillies. And he made the comparison, right? This was funny. He goes, a single game in the NFL season is 20 games in the MLB season, so sometimes you just got to be patient. So he goes, when Nick Castellanos, he mentioned Castellanos by name, he goes, when Nick Castellanos is struggling, like in a game, you got to be patient. It's like, yeah, that one game might represent one play in the NFL. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, like, yeah, over the course of an entire season, you expect that stuff to even out. Over the course of a week in a baseball season, that equates to, like, 1/4 of an NFL game. So he's like, yeah, you got to be patient. He also said that his philosophy is different from what the Eagles did last year. So when things wasn't working last year, the Eagles was like, yeah, you know, we got to bring in Matt Patricia. We got to make things different. We got to confuse the defense. Or, I'm sorry, the offense.
Well, they did confuse the defense.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. But they confused their defense. Whereas Vic Fangio is like, yeah, when things are going right, you know what I do? I just make it simpler. And that's a good philosophy.
Yeah.
Like, there's the obvious thing that he said, but, Pat, I think you probably want to speak on it. Do you know what he said?
About
Jonathan Gannon?
No.
Oh, okay.
I didn't hear it.
All right. You were looking at me like you knew it.
No,
okay.
No.
So, yeah, someone had asked him, one of the beat reporters had asked him, like, yo, so if things hadn't gone down the way they did with Jonathan Gannon, and Jonathan Gannon hadn't essentially told the team he'd be back and then dipped, would you have been here last year? You want to know what Vic said? He's like, that's a fair assumption.
Yeah, he would have been.
This was all Jonathan Gannon's fault. All Johnny Gannon's fault, man.
Yeah, no. Yeah, we should have had him last year. I didn't know that. I just didn't know where you were going with what he was going to say.
Yeah, it wasn't anything crazy. Yeah.
No, I mean, I think that, like you said,
pretty much confirming what we'd already
his
suspected.
kids are 2 hours south. His mom's 2 hours north. You know what I mean? He wanted to come home 40 years ago.
He's a big Phillies fan, man. He's from here.
He just said he was going to hang out the Palladium, too, at the thing. Like, it was, you know.
He's the man, dude.
Yeah. After the Phillies lost their first loss and they had a 7-game win streak. He was like, what are you guys going to rip him apart now for losing one game? Like,
yeah, he's so
a Philly
funny, man.
Yeah. He's one of us. I mean, it's amazing.
He came home.
Which also makes me think that no matter how the season pans out, which probably will be on the maybe not Super Bowl train, but at least a very good season, I don't think it's the end of Sirianni. I don't think any of these coordinators are going to usurp Sirianni's head coach tenure.
Nah.
I think Fangio said it's his last job.
I think Fangio's going to be an old guy like Jim Johnson was for us, where like he'll be here till he fucking dies. Well, maybe not, but you know, we'll see.
Hopefully he retires before he dies. But
probably at least
still going to be on the sidelines at 90 years old.
At least 3 or 4 years, I would hope. You know, have us. And I preached this last season, and I'm going to keep harping on it now. Continuity, stability. You know what I mean? This team's been too much of, we need to decide. We need to, like, figure out this new mastermind to figure out the team. You have the players. You got the GM and the ownership buy-in to, like, get the best free agents or get a good draft pick, get a hype man for the head coach, which Andy Reid kind of was. He was an O-lineman as a player, but, you know, had the West Coast offense in him here and there. I think Sirianni's got a great head on him that way to be able to get the men in line. But I think Fangio will be a defensive coordinator for us for at least 5 years. Until he wants to call it out.
If he wants to retire sooner.
His mom's 97, so she'll die in a year or two, which makes sense. But his kids are 2 hours south.
You don't know that? What if she lives to be a centenarian?
Well,
you don't know that.
Okay, fine. You got me 3 years. I was off by a year. My bad. Anyway, my point...
she could be like 106. You don't know that?
Either way, his kids will outlive him, so they're 2 hours south. He's good to go. I think that he's a coordinator. I don't think he needs the pressure as a...
Right.
You know, older man in the limelight of his life to be a head coach.
Yeah, he don't want that.
No, be a defensive man. You got a GM that's feeding you talent out the ass. Call it. What more would you want? No one's calling for your head at the end of the season. They're calling for Nick Sirianni's head every year.
That's true.
So, fuck it. I'm out. I'm 67 years old. I'm chilling. I'm in the life of my life. I'm back on the East Coast. I'm chilling. So, I loved his press conference. I thought it was amazing.
No, he's a good dude, man. I like him.
He said the Palladium's still down here, down the road. I can get done practice, go right here.
He reminds me of South Philly Italian, man. He doesn't talk like it, but in so many ways, he's very much a South Philly Italian. What do we think of Kellen Moore?
I didn't really see anything about it, honestly.
So here's my deal with Kellen Moore. He's so focused on this being a collaborative thing on offense, which I get. He probably has to say that in front of the media. But I've been saying this since they hired him. I don't want Nick Sirianni too involved in this offense. I mean, I think Nick Sirianni got exposed last year as an offensive schemer, an offensive play not caller. He didn't call the plays, an offensive play developer. Let's call it. And the more that this has Kellen Moore's imprints on it, and the less it has Nick Sirianni's on it, I think I'm happy. With the one exception being that Kellen Moore isn't like a run-happy coach, whereas you have one of the best running backs in the league, so I think you have to take advantage of that. That's where I want to see Nick Sirianni's influence. Everywhere else, the passing game, lack of motion versus more motion versus 12 personnel versus 11 personnel. Like, no, I want that to be Kellen Moore. I want to see more 11 personnel. I want to see mixes of 12 personnel, but using it right. I want to see more running plays, but I don't want it to be the same boring running concepts the Eagles ran a bunch last year.
I like that in his press conference, though, for Kellen Moore, he did say that he understands the connection between Jalen Hurts and the receiving weapons with A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown, and Dallas Goedert, the O-line, and Hurts. You know, he's like, I'm not touching any of that right now. I like that he said that right now is the time of year to solidify the run game. Figure out what we have that way, because they did kind of lack that, but he was like, you know, now's the time of year to hammer out. Right on paper, right now, we have the best at least in the NFC East, probably the most solid pass game of any team in the NFC East. NFC, you might be able to flex other teams in there, no big deal.
Probably
but,
in the NFC. I mean,
but he was
close.
But he was like, now's the time to hammer out the run game efficiency, because there's no connection between Hurts and Saquon, no connection between Saquon and that O-line.
That's a good point.
Gainwell has that for sure, you know what I mean? But that's all like a weird scrapback. Shipley, whatever his name is, Shipley's son, back there, you know what I mean? He'll figure it out. But I think that was a good testament to like, okay, he's going to come in here, probably add some new things to this offense, but there's no reason to like break up what the offense has in terms of pass game. They know they have the ability to play. He can make a play. I mean, he led Dallas 3 out of the 4 seasons he was there to the number 1 passing offense. So he'll figure that shit out in a heartbeat. No need to put that shit on paper right now in the off season. Right now, he's got to figure out how this O-line works with no Jason Kelsey and a couple rookies up in there and a new guy playing center and a new running back behind Hurts.
A new right guard. Yeah. Okay.
So like, that now's the time to figure that run game out, which to me felt like, okay, this man isn't going to be a Chip Kelly sense where he's going to come in here and force his will on these players to be able to play his game. He's going to see what the talent has, figure it out, and then work to their best strengths. And I think that's a pretty exciting thing to have as an OC compared to where we were last year, where we didn't really know what was going on at all.
Yeah,
we got lucky in the first half.
He seems to have more of a plan. I hope that the plan's not too much collaboration with Sirianni. I mean,
I don't think it will.
I've talked about how I feel about Sirianni as an offensive play developer at this point.
Yeah. Well, before we get out of here, we got a couple, election 2024 updates. Well, just one really.
Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Rodgers.
Our favorite. Yeah, some revelations came out about our favorite candidate, RFK,
the official candidate,
the official
citywide,
the official candidate of the citywide special podcast.
I just ask you guys one more thing. The New York Times, and this has nothing to do with it has to do with the presidential election, has just come out with this extraordinary, bizarre article on RFK. And they're reporting that doctors, in a deposition, that RFK said doctors found a worm in his brain that had eaten part of his brain and then died there. I mean, you laugh, but I mean, what might this mean? I mean, what might this mean to an election, to hearing that he said this in a deposition?
What might this mean? Dude, there's like so much about this. I mean, just the idea that there was a worm that crawled into his brain, ate part of his brain, and then died. Yeah, that rules. The fact that he like had to mention this in a deposition, I guess it was during a divorce proceeding, like 10 or so years ago or whatever. But yeah, the first image that came to my head was like the Wrath of Khan.
Oh yeah,
where they put the little worm in the ears and it's like yeah. I was imagining something like that. But yeah, it's just funny like to word it that way because he very easily could have just been like, yeah, I had a like a parasite, he could have like dressed it up in some language like it was like a neurological parasitic infection that
that's the
eventually
Kennedy way though.
But instead it's like there was a worm that crawled into my brain, ate part of my brain, and then died.
Damn.
Yo, I like how the other thing he said is that he has mercury poisoning from eating too much fish.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, this quote from The Independent. RFK Jr., the son of the late New York Senator and Attorney General Robert F. Kennedy, told The Times in an interview that the poisoning was caused by eating too much fish. I love tuna fish sandwiches. I ate them all the time, he said. So now he's trying to blame this on mercury, too?
Was the mercury poison a separate thing, or did that have to do with the brain worm?
I think they're separate.
Separate.
I think he's saying that they all contributed to him just mentally not being sharp.
If you eat shark steak, though, there are historically worms in shark meat, so that could make sense.
A lot of fish is going to have worms, too. If you're eating really fresh fish.
But what a classic Kennedy, though.
That's how you know it's good.
What a classic.
Exactly.
What a classic.
It is. That's how you know it's fresh. It is.
RFK Jr., though, trying to romp the coattails of JFK for a brain injury that didn't kill him to run for president, though. That's some bullshit right there. That's some, you know what I mean? If only JFK could be like
got shot in the head.
In the brain.
Yeah, so technically he died of a massive brain injury.
Yeah.
Not worse.
So what are you saying?
I'm saying that he's just trying to be like, well,
he's trying to ride his coattails.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I also have a brain injury, but you didn't get, your head didn't blow up.
I didn't get shot. I just had a worm eat my brain.
Yeah, fucking pussy.
Yeah, the worms. Yeah. The hospital tried to say that these worms were an exit wound, but clearly it was actually an entry wound, and you could see that the worms went back and to the left.
The fact that the worm ate the brain and died, I feel like if a worm had ate some good meat, it would still be alive.
I feel like the worm would be climbing all over the place.
Yeah.
The worm would be in his eye.
Should be the whole
his
brain.
Eardrum.
He should be twitching and shit.
The worm might have slid down into his lung, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
The worm might have took a slide down the trachea.
Come out if he did a speech and worms was sticking out the little nose right there.
Do you think like the worm could have been, maybe sort of controlling his movements and everything, sort of like Ratatouille style?
I wish. He said, "We don't want the injection. We do not want the shot."
It might have been because the worm might have been. The worm's probably behind his whole anti-vax.
Mm-hmm.
It's like this man probably has always been an anti-vaxxer.
Now you can blame it on the worm.
Yeah, now he can blame it on the worm.
You know who didn't have worms though? Joe Biden ain't got no worms.
Joe Biden's got his other mental deficiencies.
Not that it's been discovered.
Not dead though.
He got his other
still
mental
chomping away.
deficiencies.
He get healthy brain.
Different.
Hold up.
Joe Biden has healthy brain worms that are helping him out,
thriving.
keeping him thriving.
What are these debates going to be like?
I don't know if there's even going to be any.
We're going to have a man with dementia and a man with worms eating his skull debating on stage.
I don't think he can actually. He might not be able to debate anymore. That is an accurate
representation of American politics.
It's hard. Yeah, I don't even know.
He won't debate anymore now.
I mean, Trump didn't do any of the primary debates, which was smart for him.
Someone was telling me Trump was going to do some now, though.
Well, yeah, for the general.
For the general, I guess they kind of have to.
That's going to be hilarious.
Primary, he's going to win. Of course he was going to win that.
Yeah. I mean,
who's going to beat his ass? DeSantis?
Right, there's no reason to even do that, but yeah. I mean, it'll be funny. The two guys with, some kind of dementia. One maybe slightly worse than the other, but definitely both of them. Like, you got Biden reading, off the teleprompter, saying, pause.
Well, who has
and you have Trump falling asleep during his court hearings.
Yeah.
And just farting his ass off.
Farting. Yeah.
I've been doing that right now.
Well, you're not falling asleep.
That's why you're not running for president.
And apparently Trump's farts smell like really rank,
he's fucking Diet Coke and
McDonald's all day.
Ugh. Yo, his breath. How bad do you think his breath smells? On
Probably smells like fucking billionaire
one out
dick.
of 10.
Probably smells like dick hole.
1 out of 10. You got to give me a number.
Dick hole. That's
so
like 12.
that's a 0. Technically,
Yeah,
that's a 0. Hole is a 0, yo.
Yeah, goose egg.
Oh, good or bad?
Yeah, bad.
Oh, then yeah, negative something.
Yeah, okay, that's all you had to say. Yeah, his breath is like a negative 50. But anyway, I didn't come here to talk about his breath.
Yeah, it's got to be pretty bad.
Mm-mm.
I mean, you figure there's got to be some, AIDS helper guys around. There's.
It's so sad that this is what our country has become.
To like
man.
spray stuff and stay on top of that, But
yo, we should run for president.
yeah,
All 3 of us, we can be one president.
yeah, we could be like a triumvirate,
One tribunal.
like
Tribunal.
We would be better than these cats, man. I
Yeah.
swear.
What's our policy? What's our catchphrase?
Yeah, I don't know.
3 for 1?
No.
Oh. Dollar
No.
Dog Night for everybody?
Yeah, bring back Dollar Dog Night.
Yeah, no, that's the campaign. That's like the
What's
thing
our
we're going to run
slogan?
on.
We got 3 people
Prices citywide specials capped at $5.
Trevor, Amy, Pat, or we got...
Nah,
what's your last name?
back use.
Bacuse, Maslow. We can't combine them all. It's not...
BMC. BMC. Yo.
Run BMC.
Run
BMC.
Oh, shit.
Hell yeah.
All right, we got it right there.
Yeah, that's
That
a new
shit sounds
sticker.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that
a new
sticks.
sticker.
Yeah,
That sticks. Run BMC. Boom. All right, that's all we need.
Yeah, so pretty much.
Now, do we
in
need
4
3
years,
VPs or do we need 1 VP for all of us?
No, we're all the president and someone's our VP. We all 3 of us is the president as a collective.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
all right. So if one gets shot at the VP,
Then
so
the other
we
2 are
need
still president.
All 3. All right, 1 VP.
Yeah,
so it's
we just
run BMC and
supersede that whole process.
The Rock,
Yeah, I mean, if he wants to be a part, that'd be cool.
our VP. We need a VP.
Okay, the
Who's
Rock's
the
our
owner of
VP.
Donkeys?
Or even
We should get that guy from Lucky to be the VP because he'll just repeat everything we say.
get
He'll-
in the post.
he'll know-
The other guy.
The other guy, he'll
The
just
little
know.
man.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
through being around us for a long enough time, if we all get massacred
It's
in a
free
terrorist
publicity.
attack or something, he'll be able to step right in and just repeat all the things that we've been saying for the past few years.
Until
and
someone
just
says
pick up
they're
right where we
wrong,
left
he's like,
off.
"Yeah, you're right. They're wrong."
Yeah, that
Yeah.
guy was something else.
It's a
Yeah, we got to get a clip of. Next time we're at Lucky, when he's at Lucky, we got to show him. To
I
the
don't know if we'll
listeners.
ever see that man again.
Yeah, I mean, I've been going
Have
to
you
Lucky
seen him before?
I've been going to Lucky for 13 years. I never seen that guy.
Yeah,
there.
I don't.
well, next year at the Flavor on the Avenue, I'll have to just
yeah, maybe
go back there.
Maybe he'll
comes
be up
back
for the
once a year.
Italian Market Fest. We'll
Yeah.
see.
Oh,
We'll
you
keep
could.
an
You
eye
can't
out.
miss him.
Well,
you
you
could
definitely
miss him.
can.
Yeah.
He's very easy to miss, actually.
Yeah, would you say he was 3 feet tall?
Yeah, he said he was 3.5 feet tall. Like he's literally like an Oompa Loompa or something.
He is 3.5 feet tall.
Yeah, he was taller than that.
He was-
He was like
four-
4.
My
No,
man cracked
He
at
was
least.
maybe a little bit shy of
No,
5 foot.
four-
Maybe,
My guy
but
cracked at
still,
least 4'5", yo.
4 foot. I would
He's
say
probably
four,
like 4'10" or something.
I'm gonna say 4.
5 foot is like pretty damn short. That's really.
I'm only
I mean,
5'8". He was pretty short.
Yeah, I mean 8 inches. He was.
No,
I'm saying like he's probably like 4'10".
I'm gonna say. All right.
We can't verify this, so
He's
I don't
our
know.
VP.
We're not.
We
I
can't
don't know
talk
where
too
we're like
much
taking
shit.
bets
Yeah.
or something.
He's our VP. He was 6 foot.
yeah,
He
we
was
don't
6
want him
foot.
to-
We'll have him on the pod once he comes down
Yeah,
here.
if he's
We'll
gonna be our
measure him.
VP, we probably
Yeah.
shouldn't be speculating on
Yeah,
his
we'll give him a shoebox. Sit right
on
there.
his
Yeah.
height. He might get offended. Yeah, well, I think I'll just about do it for us here tonight, everybody. Please leave us a 5-star rating and review over your podcast. Give us a subscribe on YouTube. Follow on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. Send us an email at citywidepod@gmail.com. And from all of us here at the Citywide, good morning, good afternoon, good night.
Peace.
Happy Mother's Day.
Oh, yeah. Shout out moms. Happy Mother's Day.
Shout out the moms.
Dave, got your head.